Although concerns were great, it wasn't Ebola in Lubbock. I'm Nina DeSaro, how UMC was ready and what their medical staff learned.
Our Nina DeSaro with what UMC did in order to protect its staff and their continued confidence in their isolation protocols.
This is not an outbreak, this is not a case, so that's important to know first off.
Early Thursday, concerns over Ebola put a Lubbock man into the hospital under isolation. UMC Marketing Director Eric Finley says the patient was exhibiting some flu-like symptoms, and the paramedics transported him from his northeast Lubbock home to the hospital. A few hours later, he was given the all-clear and released. While the patient was deemed safe to return home, UMC learned a lot from this experience, especially in terms of taking precautionary measures for the future.
Truth be told, we're fairly used to isolation precautions, but Ebola raises the bar a little bit on the severity of that, and so we've had to retrain everyone about really how to do this well. And I have to be honest, I was not as well informed as I am now about how to do that.
Dr. Reagan says one of the most important ways to protect medical staff from this kind of infectious disease has a lot to do with the protective gear.
Our employees, just by chance today and tomorrow, are being trained how to put on and remove the protective equipment. And it is appearing more and more that that is a critical element in preventing spread of the disease.
We're also initiating what we call the buddy system for nurses. So when one nurse puts the equipment on and takes them off, there is another nurse who is watching them do it to make sure that they're doing it correctly.
Finley says various protocols in place help the hospital prepare for any potential future cases.
Small teams of nurses, small teams of respiratory therapists, small teams of environmental services and janitor workers. We're not including any nurse or any janitor at random. It'll be people who are specifically trained to handle this type of situations.
Dr. Reagan says state health authorities determined the Ebola test wasn't needed for this patient, as his symptoms of diarrhea and nausea were confirmed to be from a pre-existing condition, not an infection.
We feel very confident that we know what happened to this individual, what caused his symptoms. He was treated, he's doing well. There's no Ebola in this patient.
The two red flags when evaluating a potential Ebola case are the presence of fever and travel to a high-risk area. While this patient had been in Africa, he was in the Ivory Coast, which has no reported cases of Ebola at this time.
Ebola is a very scary illness. There's certainly reasons for the public to be frightened by it, but it's not airborne. It has to be transmitted only through bodily fluids, and so there is some protection just in that fact. And as long as those protocols are in place, we really do believe they'll be safe.
City of Lubbock Health Department will continue to monitor the patient's condition. Nina DeSaro, Good Day Lubbock.
And UMC doctors say flu symptoms are very similar to that of Ebola, which is one more reason why it's important to make sure you get your flu shot.